Oops.
I guess we should pay attention to the time.
Oops. I think we're all getting used to this now, though. We're all coming back. I think we're all getting used to it.
What happened?
We need a little 5-second alarm or something.
I was actually watching it, and it wasn't even registering to me that it was about ready to. Let's see.
Oh, Ray's here, Jim's here, Leroy's here, and I'm here.
Now, just so you know, I did not pay this much for this. And mine actually came with like 3 more antennas.
Oh, wow. And
But
you got that at Amazon?
on Amazon, yeah.
Hmm.
But it was about $50. It was on sale. But that's the one that I bought.
What I found on Amazon was the one I really wanted was out of stock with one of those signs that said, "We're not sure when this will ever be available again." So,
I'm
okay.
To tell you the truth, I would never pay $70 for one that did not do more.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's one here called the Hack RF1.
Yep.
Great Scott Gadgets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's supposed to be the best.
Yeah.
Best software-defined radio transceiver, Hack RF1.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's what, a couple $100? 150?
I don't know.
Hack
It's no big
RF?
deal. You've paid much more than that for little robots that barely work.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Keep it clean now, guys.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. Somebody had told me about some FPGA based game consoles that are $200. And I was like, well, that's too much. But I had just spent like $200 on like 3 games. So I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not as much as I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hack is the Hack RF the one that has the TX? It can actually transmit.
A bunch of these will actually transmit.
Yeah.
The power amplifier in the transmitter is susceptible to damage. Half duplex operation, so you cannot transmit and receive simultaneously. And a maximum input power of -5 dBm. A signal stronger than that will damage the. That just sounds like, ooh, wait a minute.
But it's also one that will go way up into the gigahertz range too. It will go
6.
Yeah. I want to say this thing is up in the $200 range though. And for cheap people.
It's just too much. $319.95.
Ooh, that's above my threshold for pain.
I'll come, but if you buy it, you gotta buy these other little accessory things, and then you're up at total of $380. Ugh.
It's like buying a car and then they say, "Oh, but would you like?"
Yeah, you need the
Air
antenna
conditioning.
adapters and all kinds of crap.
Well, for $105, you can get, it's saying on Amazon, people to look at this, what do they actually end up buying? And they're saying that people end up buying the NES DR Smart HF bundle, which goes 100 kilohertz to 1.7 gigahertz. And I think people that are above 1.7 gigahertz, they're special people. It must be.
Well, like I told Art, a lot of those SDRs, you could push them up into the 2 gigahertz range anyway. Even if they say 1.7, they'll go further than what they say. They usually get hot, but
I guess the question I have is, why do they get so hot? Because if you're
They're-
coming off a standard USB 2, the most you've got there, you've got 5 volts and you got a half an amp. And so you got 2.5 watts. You know, those things are getting hot on 2.5 watts. That's kind of, it kind of amazes me. Do they just get hot to the touch, or they get hot enough to burn you?
I have not been burnt yet off of them, but I have gotten them a couple of them hot enough where I had to pull it out and drop it because it was that hot. I didn't want to hold on to
Okay,
it.
so you're talking about
Melt your USB port.
maybe 50C, something like that.
Yeah,
Threshold of pain for most people is around 50C.
Yeah, I would say somewhere between 50, 55, probably. It was hot enough. It was hot
Uh-huh.
enough that I did not want to hold on to it.
Leroy's threshold of pain is around
Okay.
50 USD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my this RTLSDR.com says that they reach about 70 70C. So that's hot. You don't want
Yeah.
to hold on to it.
No.
In fact, I think the last time I don't use mine as much as I could or should. And I think the last time that I actually used it, I took a little towel and pulled it out of the USB port because I just didn't want to touch it.
So you're probably suggesting to use a powered USB hub instead of plugging that in your laptop.
Yeah.
Are you intimating there's something practical that can be done with this?
Oh yeah.
With the SDRs,
Oh yeah. A lot of things.
they're fun.
But it's
You could
also an inexpensive way to receive a signal across a very wide band. So,
Well, and
compared to
with,
compared
with
to a communications receiver these days, it costs you some starting at $500, $600, $700 and going right on, up to the multiple K range.
Is this, I assume this is 0.1 microvolts per dB sensitivity? 0.1 microvolt sensitivity?
there's a lot of filters and side projects with them too that you can decode P25, you can decode pagers, you can decode almost any signal that's out there as long as it's not encrypted. Because there's a bunch of different side projects that will let you do that.
Well, I got it to decode 433 Manchester pulse code encoded stuff for weather stations and whatnot. And there's zillions and zillions of those, and they're all proprietary. So you gotta break out the code, figure out what's going on, and then go from there.
So I was looking at the ICOM 7300 and the ICOM, is it 9700? Both of those have capability of being run in a SDR mode. Is that right?
Well,
Thought
they're
they-
probably a closet SDR to begin with. They
Yeah, that's what I thought. I
probably
thought they were SDRs.
basically the tuner in them is an SDR, I'm sure.
If they are, that's quite a heck of a radio.
Well, there's some Chinese radios that, I mean, that's basically what they are. They're SDRs with like a 20 watt amplifier stuck on them.
Uh-huh. This is a transceiver or just a receiver?
Transceiver, yeah. And they're not hateful. They're not cheap, but they're not hateful if you want to get into HF. Like this thing, the reviews on this are like pretty high, pretty good, but it's a SDR.
Uh-huh.
It's an SDR transceiver with some extra stuff to get you up.
What's the max power? I can't read it there.
They say 5 watts, but one of the reviewers said that it's more than that.
So you use the actual air or the web, the internet connection?
No, this is
A
this
real
is a
radio.
transceiver.
Okay, a real radio.
A real radio, yeah. Yeah,
Real radio.
you can actually you stick an antenna on it. You stick a good antenna on it,
Okay.
and you can actually talk to people in the HF band.
Middletown, Cincinnati.
Do what?
Do reach Middletown from Cincinnati?
Easily.
Easy. Yeah. Yeah, but that's under $1,000 for an HF radio.
Yeah.
I'd rather use the phone.
Yeah, but if the phone's not working,
The world disappear.
you're gonna talk to
This is-
15 people at one time.
Yeah, this is emergency communications, among other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you
The dumb
need a
state.
good antenna and some other stuff for that, but you could get into HF for under $1,000, which is pretty good.
Yep. That is
HF used to be really expensive to get into, and with the SDR radios, it's getting cheaper
yeah.
to do.
Yeah, the back in the days when $1,000 was $1,000, say like in 1955,
Good explanation.
you know, you could easily spend $1,000 on an HF. So keep in mind, in 1955, you could buy a house, a pretty nice house, for $3,000. So it's a you
Right.
have to adjust for inflation. Okay.
So,
Those
Earlier-
ICOM radios that you were talking about, Ray, they're not cheap, but they're not expensive either, right?
they're not horrible.
200 something.
Back at like 2002, maybe 2004, I bought an ICOM 7000, which was at the time back then was an amazingly great radio. And I had not bought a new radio since then. Now, I would say maybe less than 4 months ago, I bought 4 radios. I bought the ICOM 9700, the ICOM 7300, the Yaesu FTDX 9000. I mean, I spent a little over $5,000 on 4 radios. And yeah, they are some of the nicest radios out there. And you can, within reason, do just about everything on them. They're really, really nice.
And you've got D-Star and you've got
Yeah.
Fusion. You got System Fusion on one of your radios?
I don't get to play with it enough because I travel so much.
You don't take it with you?
No. No. It is basically it's the blend right on the edge of, is it a home base or
Base
just an
station.
extremely capable remote, mobile radio. It does have USB connections and all that fun stuff.
And your daughter gets to play with them, right?
Oh yes, she does all the time, and she loves it. And everybody on the radio is just excited to hear her and get in there and talk to her.
So Barry's here. He's
I've arrived.
hey Barry, how you doing?
Almost forgot about you guys. Looked
How
up
can
and
you
was like,
forget
oh,
about
oh, crap.
us? How could you forget about us, Barry?
I need a better memo system.
Ah, yeah. Maybe you should get a computer there,
Yeah, I
Barry.
don't know.
Poor Barry.
All these hibiscuses I'm sitting on, I don't know what else to do with them.
Yeah.
I got a new project that Vicente is going to love.
What? Smart what?
It is a Smart Response XE, and it's got
Really?
an Arduino 1284 or something in it, and it's hackable, and it's got
A keyboard, a display. What?
it's got a display, it's got the keyboard, it's got an XB built into it.
Oh,
How much?
Well, if you get on eBay, you can find them for they're definitely under $10, and you can find them for around $6 if you really look. I am waiting on the programmer so I could actually flash them to use the Arduino IDE with them.
what's the name again?
It's called Smart Response XE.
XE.
Yep. And
So you found it on Alibaba or where?
no, I found them on eBay. I
Okay.
actually
Used.
found them on Hackaday. Other people were talking about them, and these are going to explode, and they're predicting the price will go high on them.
$35, $9 plus $5 shipping.
Yeah.
Get 5 of them for $28 plus $10 shipping.
I bought 10 of them for $50.
Ah,
I bought 10 of them for $50 plus I think $10 shipping, so $60. And they sent me 11 of them. So I'm like,
you
okay.
could buy 22 of them for $150. Free shipping.
20?
What are these things for?
They were school classroom dealy bobs where I guess they handed them out to the class and you could answer the questions and post the responses up on the teacher's computer or whatever. But now they're just going to become Arduino thingy mabobs.
I would take one.
Well,
I need to
here it
search.
says there's a receiver that comes in the case.
Yeah. The receiver also
So you have to
has
have a receiver for it as
No.
well.
no.
So are these things all transceivers?
Yeah, they've got a little XB chip already in them. But see,
Mhm.
this guy hacked and put a different transceiver in it. This one shows. So originally you actually had to break these things open to program them, but this guy who did that figured out that you could program this over wireless, but you do have to actually break one open to do that.
Hmm.
This guy here ported a game system to it, but I'm waiting. I ordered the PCB to go ahead and use the pogo pins and the flashing port that's already on it. So hopefully I don't even have to open mine up anymore. But
So you said you were waiting for the software?
I'm waiting for the PCB that so I can build the programmer for it. Instead of trying to open these things up. Apparently, well, they are incredibly hard to open, and you usually end up
Does
breaking
that void the
one of them.
warranty?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, according to the guy who's opened them, you usually end up breaking one before you get it open. So these holes right here in the back are actually programming things. So apparently the company had a programmer that they stuck on there, and somebody else
Realized it.
hacked together their own programmer. So
Oh, you're
I'm
gonna
just-
3D print a programmer and put the pogo pins on it?
well, I guess I could have, but it was $4 to order 6 PCB boards. So, and it was it was actually more expensive to order the freaking pogo pins than it was to order the PCB. I ordered 100 pogo pins for I think $8. Figure I could use those for something.
So you don't need to open it to program it, right?
According to according to them now, I guess once they figured out what they were doing, you don't need to open it to program it.
So you've got external contacts you can put the pogo pins on
Mm-hmm.
and use that
As the programmer.
so that becomes in effect a USB connector, or what happens?
It becomes a ICSP connector.
Okay.
So you
Yeah,
still
you need a
need
programmer.
the IC SB circuit,
Okay.
but yeah, according to them, you can burn the new firmware on it, and you could just burn your Arduino sketch to it. So, and if you want to take and open one actually up and put a serial connector on it, apparently once you get it open, it's enough to put a serial connector or whatever on it. It's just getting it open is the problem. But apparently once you get it open, you could burn one set of firmware and do wireless programming for the other ones. So you would have one that would become the hub, and it could program other ones over the air.
Mm-hmm.
And given the fact that I've got 11 of these things,
You can afford to sacrifice one.
I might, yeah, since I ordered 10 and I got 11, I might be able to sacrifice one to do wireless programming. But I thought these were interesting though, especially since they've got the keyboard and the display.
How old is this device?
How old?
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 years old, or
I don't know, probably.
The
I don't-
microcontroller is Atmel, but it's not the.
It's a which Atmel is it? 128. It's an Atmel 128 RF. So it's got the 8215.4 radio built into it. And it's got SparkFun. SparkFun did the firmware, the original firmware, and this guy hacked their firmware to get it to do other things, but I don't see any date on it. I don't know how old it is.
Seems like the transceivers that are $4 connect to USB. Those seem kind of cool.
Yeah. I'll post a video in the forums about him.
Okay.
He the same guy that hacked him, he doesn't have any information on how he got the one of those receiver things to work, but apparently you could hack those instead of opening one of these up and get them to become the hub as well. So you could reprogram your things with one of those, but he doesn't tell you how to do it.
How feels the keyboard?
It's good.
proper? It's good.
Yeah, it's nice
And in each side of the screen, there are buttons or what are LEDs? What
yeah, these are buttons.
buttons?
But buttons over here on
Like a menu button.
like
right?
menu buttons.
Yeah.
And can you hear it?
Yeah.
So the keyboard at the bottom is actual buttons. It isn't like a touch screen at the bottom.
No, it's buttons, physical.
I like it.
Huh. Cool.
I want to try basic on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A portable basic machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's exactly what I was saying. Or have two of them that you got your wife over there and in another part of the room or house, and you go, bring me Pepsi.
Okay. As a terminal.
Yeah, she's gonna carry her cell phone. She won't carry this little thing from you.
Ray, don't break my heart.
Is there a serial port somewhere, Roy?
Do I?
Serial port or what's in the side of the connector in the side of the device?
That was something that he
Hacked onto it.
he hacked onto it.
But it's a serial thing or?
Yeah, I think that one was a
Because
serial port.
we can use software serial to use any pins that is in this connector, you know?
Yeah.
But
If
we
you
need
look-
we need to know which pins are there.
Here, if you look at this picture, once you get it open,
Uh-huh.
you can see ground, VCC, Mossy,
Okay.
something else, but that's your ISP,
Yeah.
ICSP header.
IS.
Yeah.
Mm,
And over here, if you look really
There's your JTAG
carefully, it
programmer.
says RS-232.
uh-huh.
So there's
3.
your serial header over there, and that is what the guy broke out and put into the side of it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's somewhere else I saw somebody else had said that there's.
I missed it.
there's
Where'd you
something
say there's
else.
the RS-232?
Right here, right where my mouse is.
Oh, I see. Underneath the blue wires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look really close, it says RS-232, and it's actually marked. It's actually marked really well about what it is.
Yeah, but it looks like there's a chip that would go onto the board.
It-
Right there at C34.
C34.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's probably like a SOIC Max 232 or something.
You're probably right. There probably was a different design. But
there are 4 capacitors close to it that used to be a RS-232 chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Max
the old
232,
one.
DCP 232, something like that.
Yeah, but you see why this is so interesting to be hacked.
Yeah.
But and then this is the the programming header you could use. But look over here. Here's an ISP header right here. And then if you really want to get fancy, there's a JTAG header right there.
Mm-hmm.
There are just a ton of different things that you could do to this thing. So, yeah, it's an interesting board.
There is an speaker in the board.
I think it does buzz. Yes.
There is place for a speaker, or
I think when I turn this on, I think it buzzed. I think I think there may actually be a speaker there. It may be compressed into the
case.
into the thing. But getting this thing apart is the challenge. They did not make it to come apart, which I guess makes sense if you're dealing with kids.
Yeah.
So,
well, I asked for one in eBay for 14 delivery.
well,
Leroy would sell you one.
I probably would just give him one. He's
The
done a lot of stuff.
the next one.
I think you actually need, you probably need at least 2, but
Well, the next one, I will ask you for it.
yeah.
I will spend $10 to go to Middletown and buy it for 5. So it will be 15, almost the same.
Almost the same. No, I just thought that was interesting. I have considered buying one of those receivers that you're talking about, Ray.
Mhm.
Because if you open it up and it's like got all the header and everything, I mean, it's probably just as easy to hack as this thing. Who knows? It probably wasn't made to come apart either. So
Maybe I know another web places where other people did the hack also, or it's just one?
well, I put a link in the chat to the Hackaday.
Yeah, I saw
Page.
it, but I am wondering if there is another people doing the same thing, you know.
I don't know.
Go further.
I don't know. The Hackaday page is the only one that I actually saw.
They made a spectrum analyzer, but as far as
Yeah, but he's using that CC 1100 chip.
there
for
is
this,
another
that
in Planet Arduino. There is another project there.
There's the link to the original SparkFun board.
Wireless hack.
So you need if you're going to set it up, you need to download the board information from SparkFun. So there's the link for SparkFuns.
Okay, let me check. Chat.
So that's also got XB on it.
Zigbee.
Zigbee. Okay.
Um,
Well, actually, I think the standard is actually XB and
XB.
Zigbee is a.
yeah, they're related to each other, I think, somehow or another.
They're both different clones of the 802.15.4.
Yeah. Now apparently somebody did ask if you could use an XB module to program these things, and the guy said that no, you actually need a physical one of these to do it. So apparently they've modified it in some way to make them only compatible with themselves. But
By the way, we're at 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
yep, we're getting there again.
Yeah.
But that was my that was my kind of interesting project that will slowly develop as time goes on, I'm sure. Or I'll get frustrated and just throw the whole thing in a pile and say, to storage you go.
Okay. Anybody else got any big information? Big announcements?
So what's the latest in lasers there, Ray?
I actually paid for my new lasers. It's
How'd
done.
you do that?
Actually, I paid for them yesterday. So I went and paid for a new shipment of laser machines that are the normal CO2 stuff, and I paid for my 2 metal cutting lasers. So those are gonna be some big lasers.
Yeah, you're looking a little light there, yeah.
Metal stuff. Okay.
So you're going to use those for a service business or what?
Well, they are a bit expensive, so there is going to be some business related into them. Yes, we'll be doing some work for as a service, but we'll also be doing a lot of fun. So
you're not, these are not for resale then. These are for maintaining in your.
No, create a business
Well-
that produce something metal stuff.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show people that hey, these are the laser machines that we have, and we can sell one to you. You're welcome to buy one. For all these other people, we'll show you how they work, give you some training here at our shop. But I don't want to just have them sitting around for 2 months. Every 2 months somebody shows up to want to look at it. So
We need a presentation, right, for the club.
yeah,
See this
you
thing
can
working.
come over and take a look at them.
Right,
I'll be happy to show them off. Okay.
right.
It is going to be a big event for me. I could have bought a supercar for this price. So, a real nice sports car. But anyway,
we may design a small rod arm.
Yeah.
With metal, bending some parts or.
yeah. So here's an example of what they can do,
Wow.
and it's all metal.
Is that aluminum or steel?
This is steel. This is stainless steel.
Wow.
That's really nice.
Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing compared to what they can do. It's amazing, but it's a big deal for me. And like I was saying, I can't just have them sitting around waiting to show off. So we're looking for contracts that we can actually build stuff for people, have them regularly running second shift or something, or first shift. I don't care. And
Just as long as they're running, right?
yeah, they got to be making money.
So is that like 16 gauge, 22 gauge steel? How thick is that?
This piece right here is probably 22, but the laser machines that I purchased will easily cut 1/4 inch up to 1/2 inch, depending on the speed.
Okay.
It's a thousand watts or what?
1,500.
23 seconds.
Yep.
I'll be happy to tell you guys more later.
Right. Let's see.
Take care.
Bye,
All right. We'll see everybody
See you
next
you
week.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you
I
can kill
mean-
some big mosquitoes with a 1,000 watts, yeah.